Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. Also, in this video, I'm going to show you the mega haul of all these box sets I picked up over at Amoeba the other day. Over $300 worth of DVDs and Blu-rays I got over there. Because I traded in some old DVDs that I had and, got some store credit, which I had like $475 in store credit. And I spent over $300 over there. And I'm going to show you all the cool stuff I picked up over at Amoeba at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. I also have a bunch of goodies here to talk to you guys about today. But guys, let's get on to the first one here. This first one is from Full Moon Pictures. You guys all know them. They're the ones that put out the Puppet Masters, the Trancers films, the Subspecies movies. And this is Charles Band's newest film. And I was really happy with it because I didn't know what to expect, going into this one. And I was really pleasantly surprised by it. And that is Trophy Heads here on DVD. This one right here, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis about it. It's about this guy named Max. He lives in his mother's basement. He's like in his 30s, maybe 40s, and he's really obsessed with 80s B movies. And he just loves, the scream queens of that time period. And he thinks they're all fading away. They're all getting older, and he doesn't want people to forget who they are. And he doesn't want to forget who they are, because all he does is watch their films in that basement all the time, until he comes up with this plan with him and his mom to go after the scream queens and see what they're doing now, and kill them and collect their heads and mount them on his wall so he can keep them and preserve them for himself. And that's pretty much the synopsis of this film. But the really cool thing is about this movie, it stars like Robin Sidney, Brink Stevens, Linnea Quigley from Return of the Living Dead and stuff like that. But in this film, Linnea Quigley is like not really playing herself. She's kind of making fun of herself in this movie. She's playing like a born-again Christian, going around knocking on people's doors going, "Do you believe in Jesus?" And then Brink Stevens is like playing now as a massage therapist. She's away from the horror business now, doing giving people massages. It's just really kind of funny how they kind of make fun of themselves in this movie, but I really did enjoy it for that fact. But the best performance, in my opinion, in this film came from Linnea Quigley and Marie Olsen. Marie Olsen was in one of those Veronique Von Venom episodes that I shot with Jose Prendez for his YouTube channel. It's kind of like an Elvira ripoff kind of thing. And she plays Max's mom in this movie, helping him out with the murders and trying to, kidnap the Scream Queens. And I thought she did a very good job in this movie. But if you guys are into Full Moon movies, you'll know, you kind of know what you're getting. It's this low budget, but it's really cool. I think the writing was on par with this one. It was just really kind of funny. I liked it because it pokes fun at the B movie Scream Queen genre. You know what I mean? It's really cool. Trophy Heads here on DVD. And next up over here from Warner Brothers is based off the first film called The Conjuring. And I really liked The Conjuring. Conjuring had a lot of, scary moments in it for me. And I always liked, the Warrens and what they did for like Amityville and all the different cases that they did. And this is the film that is supposed to take place before The Conjuring happened, and that is Annabelle here on Blu-ray. The quick synopsis on this one is about these two, this newlywed couple moving into their first home together. The lady is expecting a baby, and the husband gives his wife a gift, the Annabelle doll, because the wife collects, porcelain dolls and things like that. But as soon as they get the doll, all this craziness starts happening, and they start thinking it's the doll that's causing it, and duh, of course it is, kind of thing. That's pretty much a synopsis of the film without, ruining anything else for you. The movie does have a lot of scary elements to it, like really good, certain sequences in the film that worked really well, that really were really creepy and scary. But on the other hand, it did kind of feel like a movie that could have been dumped on DVD. You know what I mean? But this one I know went to theaters, but it had like a straight to DVD kind of feel to it a little bit. I did like it for what it was, because I love creepy doll movies and stuff, but it's definitely not as cool as The Conjuring or as scary. But the Annabelle movie, it is cool for your horror fans. You guys will dig it, but you'll know what I'm coming from when you like see it. It does kind of feel in some moments of the movie like a straight to DVD kind of horror flick. But Alfre Woodard's also in here. One of my favorite character actors. She's also in like a movie called Heart and Souls, which I really love, and I wasn't expecting her to see her in this, and I'm like, whoa, she's in this. That was cool. But that's Annabelle here on Blu-ray. Next up over here is a film I didn't get to see in the theater, but then when I got the Blu-ray and I was watching it, I'm like, this is actually kind of cool because I haven't watched a movie like this in a very long time. And it's called The Judge here on Blu-ray, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall, who I haven't seen in a movie in a while. And I've always liked him since like what was it called, The Apostle and stuff like that, and like what was the Deep Impact I believe he was in. No, was it Deep Impact? Yeah, I know it was one of those disaster movies, and it takes place in this small town. Robert Duvall plays this judge. He's been working for the working as a judge for like 42 years, and now he's being accused of murder. And his son from the big city, played by Robert Downey Jr., is a big shot lawyer. He comes down to the small town because his mother just passed away, and he finds out what's going on with his father, and he decides to try to help his dad that hasn't seen in a long time, that he never really had a big relationship with. He's always kind of like scuffling with him, and it's pretty much him and Robert Duvall's character trying to work together to find out what happened, because Robert Duvall doesn't think he killed anyone, and it's them trying to find out, did he really kill this person and things. I thought this was kind of cool. I always kind of like watching movies like Time to Kill and like courtroom movies, and this was really kind of cool. It's not a great movie, but you're pretty much watching it for the great acting by Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall. They're just great on screen together, but the acting is superb in this one. But that's The Judge here on Blu-ray. It's pretty decent if you guys are into courtroom movies. And this next one right here is a film I just had to check out because I'm really getting in to the Justice League. This one called Justice League Throne of Atlantis. And this movie is pretty much about these Marines that are like deep sea diving and with their submarine, and something happens, they get taken over and they all get murdered and massacred. And it's up to the Justice League to find out who did that and why they did that. And then come to find out, there's like this, son of a queen of Atlantis that thinks the people that live above the water are evil and wants to take, go to war with everyone. Pretty much the Justice League trying to figure out what's going on and how to solve this without, messing up, starting some big war. And that's pretty much the synopsis of this one. I thought the animation of this was pretty decent. It's kind of like, it kind of sort of feels like 90s animation a little bit. It's not like 3D. It's like, hand-drawn. I like this. You know what I mean? Like, I think these ones are more adult. Like, I think people like my age can watch this along with their kids. You know what I mean? It's because it doesn't feel too kiddish, but it feels like pretty much anybody can watch it if you're a fan of like Batman, Superman, the DC guys. And I thought it was cool when you get the Justice League all teaming up. I just wondered when we're all going to get a big Justice League movie. You know what I mean? Come on, Warner Brothers, I want to see a big Justice League movie. We got the Avengers. Come on, bring on the Justice League, man. I can't wait to see a movie like that. Alright guys, and this next one up right here I was really pleasantly surprised by, and that is Fury here on DVD, starring Brad Pitt, Michael Pena, and Shia LaBeouf. It's about these group of guys in World War II that are, working on this big tank, going behind enemy lines to take out the Nazis. And this movie just follows the lives of these group of men in this little quadrant that's, going behind enemy lines to do this. And it just shows like how war affects people in different ways, like how one or two guys are going nuts, kind of crazy. One of them drinks all the time, and one of the new members on this tank is the first time war. Is his first time at war, and before he was thrust into this war, he was a typist and knew how to type like 100 words a minute, and he's not used to killing people. And this movie kind of shows his progression of not wanting to do it, and then how he gets into the whole war, the war feel of everything. I thought the acting in this movie was really good, except for Brad Pitt, in my opinion. He was fine, but to me, when I was looking at him on screen, it just looked like I'm looking at Brad Pitt in a movie. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like maybe he's too famous or something, but like he didn't disappear into his role, kind of like Shia LaBeouf did. You know what I mean? And Michael Pena and stuff like that. He did a good job in the movie, but it's just to me like I'm like every time I saw him, I'm like, oh, that's Brad Pitt talking. If you know what I'm trying to say there. But I thought this movie was pretty superb, especially the battle sequences that they had in here, especially the final one. I'm not going to give it away for you, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. When like something's going on with a tank and soldiers are coming and there's like all this big thing going on. I thought that was killer right there. You know what I mean? I love World War II movies, but if you guys love World War II movies, definitely give this one a chance. Very, very, very cool, in my opinion. Very, very cool. As my homeboy Pizzo would say, very, very cool. Very, very cool. And next up over here is not a very cool movie. I kind of wanted to like it, but sometimes these found footage ones, I just can't. And that is called The Remaining here on Blu-ray. This is about a group of friends. They're all going to this wedding for one of their friends, to celebrate them getting together. And then the rapture happens. Like a lot of people will just drop down dead, and then there's a group of people that don't die, and they're trying to figure out what's really going on. Why did these ones go, and why are we here? And all these, like bats and weird creatures are out, taking people out one by one, and things like that. And it's just the group of teens or 20-somethings running around the city trying to find, sanctuary and stuff, and it's just them, just like I said, trying to figure out what's going on until they find out it's the rapture that's happening, and all the people that are left on Earth are the people that didn't believe in God or in Christ or what have you, and they're all doomed. You know what I mean? All the people that died went to heaven, supposedly, and then the people that are on Earth are going to be taken out by these weird demon creature things. I don't know, man. This movie didn't really impress me very much. It was shot kind of like found footage, but then the other half of the film wasn't found footage. So I'm like, are you guys trying to be found footage or like a real movie? Because it was going back and forth because, of course, one or two of the characters have like cell phones and like a video camera because one of them is videotaping the wedding, and it kept going back and forth between like cell phones, video camera footage, and like real movie stuff. And I don't know, I always get thrown off by that. I'm like, which way are you guys trying to go with the filmmaking that they were doing in here? The acting was fine, and it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just like the religious stuff that they were talking about the Bible, because I don't really know much about that. And I don't know, maybe I just got thrown off by it. I'm just like, ugh. But that's The Remaining here on Blu-ray. Is Walk Among the Tombstones here, starring Liam Neeson. In this movie, he plays this private detective that's kind of doing cases off the books, because if he does, he can get in trouble, because he's not really a police officer anymore. He's just kind of doing it as side jobs and things, until this one guy comes to him asking him for his help because his girlfriend has gotten kidnapped, and he wants to know what's happened to her. And it's pretty much Liam Neeson trying to find out who took her and why they took her, because the person that came to him about this is a drug dealer. And someone else got taken from somebody else's family, and he's trying to figure out who's doing this and why and stuff, and it's pretty much his mission to do so. It's kind of like another version of Taken a little bit, if you think about it. Liam Neeson is good in this movie. I thought it was a solid flick. I wasn't bored by it by any means, but at the same time, I kind of sort of saw things coming as it was right before it unfolded. I'm like, oh, that's what's going to happen. Oh, okay, now that's what's going to happen. Maybe because I watched way too many movies or something. It did feel kind of sort of generic, but it was a solid film and kept my interest. That's all I can really say about it. The Blu-ray does have a little, exclusive behind the scenes, like you always get in Blu-rays and things. And this next one right here, I had to check out because I love, musical biopics like La Bamba, the Five Heartbeats, like real legendary singers and stuff. And this is called Get On Up, the James Brown story here on Blu-ray. I really, really, really wanted to like it because I love James Brown's music. And this movie pretty much chronicles his life and shows how he grew up as a little boy with, in a dysfunctional family, and, how he got into the music game and how he became the legend. But just the way this movie was made, it really kind of, I don't know, I was really trying to like it, but then it kept cutting from different time periods in his life, like from when he was a kid to the 1970s, back to the 1960s, to the 80s. Like, it was getting all jumbled up of where the movie was going. I'm like, do you guys know how you guys are kind of constructing this movie? To me, it kind of felt all over the place. But as a film, they had some solid actors in there, by Chadwick Boseman playing James Brown himself. You also get Octavia Spencer and Dan Aykroyd in the film, and a handful of other great actors, in my opinion. It had the great music in there, but it's just kind of like, please, like, have some sort of, like, structure, in my opinion. It was just really kind of all over the place. I was really trying to get into it, but I really couldn't. Alright guys, and next up is from Universal also. I was really surprised by this one. It's from the filmmakers or creators of You're Next. And it came out a few weeks ago and I just really wanted to see it. And that is The Guest here on Blu-ray. It's about this one guy. He's like a war veteran and he shows up on this one family's doorstep saying that he was in war with their son that just recently died in the war. And he's like, telling this family his past. And they invite him into their house. Just because, he says he knows their son. But as soon as he comes in there, bodies start, showing up all over this small little town and people are dying and disappearing and things. And all this craziness starts happening. And is it because this guy that just showed up on their doorstep, or could it be something else? That's pretty much a synopsis of this movie. I thought this movie was absolutely badass. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's cooler than You're Next. I like You're Next, but this is the jam right here. I just love the look and feel of this movie, and just like the way the guy is in this movie. You just don't know. Is he out of his mind? Is he just a regular dude? Because he seems like a regular dude that's just helping out this family. I thought this was a very well shot movie, very well written, and I liked the action sequences in it. I thought it was absolutely really well done. Like I was really pleasantly surprised by this one. This movie's cool. If you see it on the shelves and you love action movies, grab it. It's cool as hell. That's The Guest here on Blu-ray. I loved it. And this next one right here, I wanted to love. I was watching it and loving it as I was watching it. But then when the movie ended, I'm going, that's it? Kind of thing. And it's from Paramount, and it's called Men, Women, and Children here on Blu-ray. But this movie follows this small town, and like a handful of people that are living in this weird small suburban town, and how the internet affects their lives, and how people are addicted to their cell phones on Facebook all the time, checking statuses and playing online video games and going to like mingle sites to try to meet new people and things like that, and how the internet affects people's lives. Because in this movie, Adam Sandler is an older guy. Him and his wife are not really having relations anymore, or shaboink-boinking anymore, and he seems to go on the internet all the time to watch internet porn, and his son has like sort of like a porn addiction, and his wife is like not really liking what's going on, and it's just how the internet affects people's lives. I don't want to get into it because there really isn't a big story arc or a big story to this film. It's just, a small town, and how, like I said, it affects their lives being online and stuff. And the movie just sort of starts, and it's cool, and then the movie ends. Like, that's it? You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of things. I thought it was cool, and I enjoyed it for what it was, because I'm part of this generation that's always online, always doing that kind of stuff, and then I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. But then it really wasn't like a big thing to like, what's the point of this again? Like kind of thing. It was good. It was well made, well acted, well written, but I just felt like there needed to be a little bit more to it. And this next one right here, I knew nothing about until I got the DVD in a couple days ago, and I'm like, this is cool. And it's called Rudderless here on DVD. It's about this young boy and his father. They love each other. They learn to play music. The father teaches the son how to play guitar, and be a musician and stuff like that. Until this one day, his son gets murdered in a school shooting, or supposedly, and his father is like a big businessman and finds out that this happens, and it kind of ruins him, just like, crushes his life, and he's just like, oh my God, what's going on? And then years pass, he just doesn't know how to handle things. He moves away from his wife and the whole situation of what happened at this school. He's living on this boat now, just trying to, scrape by doing, odd jobs and things, until he meets this one kid in this bar this one night that hears him play like on an open mic, and this kid wants him, to be part of his band, and this is pretty much him, how he's trying to get out of his funk that he's in. But there's a lot more to this film than just that. But you have to watch the movie to find out. You know what I mean? I thought it was a very well done movie, very well acted, in my opinion. I just don't know why Paramount didn't put a Blu-ray release of this. It's just on DVD. And to me, when I see companies put out movies and they're just, thrown out on DVD and they don't put a Blu-ray out, it just feels like they don't have the confidence in the film. They don't think it's probably good enough to warrant a Blu-ray release. And I'm like, this movie does. This movie was fantastic. But that's rudderless here on DVD. Alright guys, and next up from Lionsgate is a movie based on a Stephen King story, and it's called The Big Driver here on DVD. This movie is about this famous writer named Tess Thorne. She's really famous for writing mystery books about these, group of old ladies going around solving mysteries and things like that. And she's just got done with an appearance, and she's taken, her ride home until her tire of her car gets popped, and she's lost on the side of the road until this one big guy comes and gets her and beats her up and rapes her and leaves her for dead until she wakes up, after all this has happened, and she tries to shake herself off and figure out what she's going to do, how she's going to, go about, doing this. Is she going to call the police? Is she going to get revenge on this guy for doing what, he did to her? And it's just, the story from there and her trying to figure out why this guy did that and how, she got caught in that position with this guy. And I thought it was okay for a Lifetime movie because that's the channel it aired on. I thought the acting was pretty solid in here. It is better than the normal Lifetime movies that, people are used to getting, like the lovey sappy ones. Oh, who stole my baby? Oh, I get the baby back, or the baby dies, or, like all that kind of stuff. Oh, my daughter's into drugs, and oh my God, why? Like stuff like that. It is a lot different than that. It is worth a watch once, but I don't know. I didn't think it didn't blow me away. I didn't think it was amazing or anything like that. I do love Stephen King stuff like The Stand, The Langoliers. He did The Shining too, right? That was great. But that's Big Driver here, and it's called Born of War here, and it's called Born of War: Revenge Runs Deep. It's about this young girl named Mina. She's a hard-working college student, on the right path to try to, better her life and, move out of her, parents' house and things like that. Until this one day, she's at home with her sister, just hanging out, doing what sisters do, until these people invade their house and kill their parents. And she wants to know why her parents just got killed from these weird guys that just ransacked their house and knocked them out and all this kind of stuff. And it's her mission to try to find out why they did that. The darkness of the family is kind of unfolding to her in front of her eyes as she's, going farther and farther into the story. I thought this was really cool, really well, decent acting in here, decently well shot and edited, at least for one of those ones that gets thrown out straight to DVD. I enjoyed this one for what it was. It kept my interest throughout the whole film. There's no really big super celebrities in here, usually you see a Danny Trejo or Eric Roberts, thrown into movies like this to try to, help sell it. They didn't need that in this movie, in my opinion, because I thought it was pretty solid. And next up over here is a movie, and that is called The Middle of Nowhere here on DVD. It's pretty much about this hard-working lady. She's a nurse, doing her day-to-day thing, just, trying to get along in life. She has a kid and everything, but she also has a husband that's been in jail for, you have to watch the movie to find out. He's been in jail for a long time, and every couple of weekends she goes over there to visit him in jail. And it's just pretty much her struggling with, having her husband in jail until now she meets this new guy, in her life, and she doesn't know what to do to stay with the guy that's in jail or go out with this guy. It's like the back and forth between the two and how she struggles with life and how she really wants her husband to come out and be free, but at the same time, he's not going to be out for years. You know what I mean? She just doesn't know what to do, and that's pretty much the synopsis of the movie. I thought the acting was pretty decent. Just the writing and the direction of the film just felt like it needed to be more fast-paced. They just long shots of people going, I just wish you would come home. Like long shots of nothingness. It could have been a lot shorter and a more tightly edited film or something. You know what I mean? I thought the acting was fine for what it was, but I don't know, it just felt kind of long. But that's The Middle of Nowhere here on DVD. Alright guys, next up is a film I wanted to see just because of the star that's in it. Vern Troyer, who you guys all know as Mini-Me from Austin Powers and stuff like that. And this is his new film that he stars in, and it's called Gnome Alone here on DVD. It's about this young girl named Zoe. She's going to school. She's kind of always having a hard time. Her parents are really dysfunctional. Her dad does really creepy things to her, like wanting to come into her room in the middle of the night wearing nothing but his chonies. And she works at this convenience store until this one day, this old lady comes into her store, and this old lady is cursed. She's cursed with this gnome that's following her around her whole life. This old lady somehow passes this gnome on to Zoe, and unknowingly. And now whenever Zoe is like, I just wish those people would die. I want Eric to die. Eric would die. But she doesn't know why this is happening until like later on in the film, she finds out that there's this, gnome played by Vern Troyer that's, following her around and, doing what she wants. That's pretty much the synopsis of the movie. It's one of those movies that's just so bad, it's amazing. Vern Troyer in this movie is awesome. You know what I mean? He's not as cool as Warwick Davis as Leprechaun or anything like that, but he does have his own little flair when it comes to his style of being this gnome. You know what I mean? Because he's not your ordinary garden gnome, kind of thing. I thought he was fantastic in this movie, but there's just the acting is just so weird and over the top. It just really kept my interest, and just the way Vern Troyer is in the movie, like when he's doing like creepy stuff, like being on top of a girl as he's doing something to her. He's always like. It's really creepy and really funny at the same time. But that's No Malone here. It's pretty basic slasher, people dying kind of thing. But with, Vern Troyer doing the killing. Thought it was cool. And next up over here from Arc Entertainment is a little game here on DVD. I only really wanted to see this movie because of the cast that's in it. You get F. Murray Abraham, Ralph Macchio, Janine Garofalo in the film. It's pretty much about this family. They're kind of having a hard time with money, but they want their daughter to go to the best school in the city. So they take her out of the public school that she's in and put her into this all-girls school. And until this one day, this mean girl at school's always giving her problems and things like that. Until she goes into this one place where they're playing chess, and this girl's like, "You're never gonna beat me in chess." And the girl that just got to the new school's like, "I never played chess in my life, but in a couple days, I'm gonna kick your butt in this chess game." That's pretty much the synopsis of the story, because this little girl learns how to play chess by this cool guy that's in the park that she walks through every day to go back home from school. And it's just, the back and forth, the interaction between her and F. Murray Abraham in the film, and how they, he connects real life experiences to chess games. And I thought that was a nice little message to the film in here. Ralph Macchio really doesn't have much to do in the film. It was cool to see him, because I've always liked him from The Karate Kid. But if it sounds interesting to you, give it a chance. It's kind of like a Searching for Bobby Fischer kind of movie, movie based on chess. I thought it was decent. It's one of those ones that feels like a made-for-TV Lifetime kind of movie, where everything's all happy and shiny and fun at the end of it. You know what I mean? But that's a little game here on DVD. Alright guys, and next up from Cinedigm is Open Windows here on Blu-ray, starring Sasha Grey and Elijah Wood here. This movie is pretty much about Elijah Wood's character. He's really an obsessed fan of Sasha Grey's character. Her name is Jill in the film. He's really obsessed about her. He loves her movies, and he just won this contest, to win a date with her. He's in town where she's at, getting all ready for his date. He's all super excited, but come to find out that Jill, the star, has canceled the date, and he's kind of really upset about it, until this one guy calls him on the internet and says, "Hey, you want to tap into her computer and her phone so you can see what she's doing and what she's up to?" And he's like, "All right." And as soon as he does that, he gets all wrapped up into this one big, kind of story between his star that he has always loved, and trying to keep her alive and himself alive in the process. It's kind of sort of like a Nick of Time kind of thriller. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to keep a person alive, and you're trying to stay alive yourself, if you ever seen the movie Nick of Time. But it's done in a way like it's sort of kind of like a found footage movie, but it's all shot from the perspective of a computer screen. You know what I mean? And different windows popping up on your computer screen, because the bad guy that Elijah Wood's interacting with is just a voice on his computer. I thought the movie was okay. It had some good tense moments, but it kind of fell flat at some parts of it. You know what I mean? It wasn't really, constructed amazingly. Sasha Grey is cool. Elijah Wood is cool in this movie. If it sounds interesting, give it a watch, because it is a decent thriller. And next up over here, oh God, I really wanted to see it because of the cast. It has James Franco, Bruce Campbell, Jessica Chastain, like all these great actors in this movie. And it's called The Color of Time here on DVD. It's about this writer played by James Franco. He's going on a road trip to go to New York to read one of his poems aloud. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner, and in this movie, it's his road trip on the way there. But in the meantime, he's reliving all these memories when he was a kid in his childhood, like his first love. His mother when he was a child. He didn't go out with his mother, but memories of his mother, memories of his first time getting some. But and that's pretty much the movie, is him reminiscing about his life. It's a real art house kind of movie, it's really artfully done, and a little bit too much for me. You know what I mean? I really couldn't get into it. The acting is fine. It just doesn't seem like there was really a script to it. It was just like, this is gonna happen. Okay, now go improv something. You know what I mean? Like, there really wasn't. I don't think there was anything written in this movie, to be honest. I think there was probably like a basic outline, but I don't think anything was really written, flushed out or anything like that. But it was just too artfully done. I really wanted to like it because I love the actors, but I just couldn't. But last up over here from Mill Creek, called Heartbreak Hotel here on Blu-ray. But this movie is about this small town and this small family that runs this hotel. And the mother, something happens to her. She goes to the hospital. She's kind of injured and stuff like that. The son's in a rock band, and he wants to do something nice for his mom. He knows Elvis is coming into town, and he wants to do something nice for her. So it's him and his friends kidnapping Elvis and bringing him to his hotel to try to make his mom happy. That's it. You know what I mean? To me, this is probably one of my least favorite Chris Columbus movies ever. It was just kind of boring. I really wanted to like it because I really love the director. It was just kind of like a little cringe fest. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. One of those, like, you're watching it going why? Maybe back then when it came out, it was probably cooler. But now it's just really dated and just really kind of. That's Heartbreak Hotel here on Blu-ray. All right, guys, I'm downstairs now to show you guys all the stuff I picked up at Amoeba Records the other day. Over $300 worth of merchandise right over here. I know some of you guys were like, why did you want that? I wanted it because I think it's cool. You know what I mean? So I also have $100 left in credit to Amoeba right now, which I'm probably gonna save it to get something else down the line. But let me show you the Blu-ray first that I picked up over there. I picked up Lou Diamond Phillips and the first Power here on Blu-ray. It's kind of pricey, but I had the credit there. It was $26.99. Love Lou Diamond Phillips. Haven't seen this movie in years. Really wanted to check it out after all these years. I also picked up the Norm Show, the complete series here on DVD, put out by Shout Factory. It was $39.99. That's pretty much the basic price this show goes for. Never seen an episode in my life, but I wanted to get it because I love Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang from the Howard Stern Show, and these guys are both in the movie I like very much called Dirty Work, and I was like, this show could be kind of cool. Next up over here, I picked up over there with my credit. It was expensive as hell, but I had to get it, and it was $99, $100, and that is the Mork and Mindy, the complete series here on DVD. Nanu Nanu, starring Robin Williams. Haven't seen the show in a long time. I used to watch it on like Nick at Night or one of those channels that used to show the old shows back in the 80s or 90s actually, when I was going to school and stayed up late. They used to have this on television. All 95 episodes, and some special features on here, like the episodes where Mork appeared on Happy Days, because this is Mork and Mindy is a spin-off show from Happy Days. But that's Mork and Mindy here, the complete series for $100. And another thing I picked up over there, I don't know what I should show you next, because I have two more box sets here. Let me show you this one. I was really surprised because I thought I had the whole collection of this show on DVD in my collection back here, because I had the first 6 seasons of it. And I thought that was the whole show, because that's all Sony ever put out originally. That is The Jeffersons here, the complete series on DVD. This is the one that's put out by Shout Factory. And it has all 11 seasons of The Jeffersons here. I thought it was only 6 for the longest time. I guess Sony just stopped releasing them out at a certain point. So now I have 11 seasons plus a bonus disc with like all these different special features on there. Like I think it's like one's like a making of the show. The maid for the Jeffersons even had her own spin-off show that didn't last very long on television, and there's like an episode or two of that show on this set here, and I think it's cool because I have always loved shows like this from the 70s and 80s, like What's Happening, Good Times being my favorite one. But Jeffersons is a spin-off show of All in the Family, and All in the Family is also spun off to another show called Maude, and then the Good Times. It's like all this cool Norman Lear stuff from back in the day is all coming out now. But when I saw this, I just had to get it. It was $150, and that's the Jeffersons, the complete series here on DVD. And this last one right here was $59.99, $60. And this is a show I used to watch a lot. The Incredible Hulk, the complete series here on DVD. The one with Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. Don't get him angry. This is the Hulk I grew up with. I know I wasn't around when the show was actually on television, but I know I saw them in repeats like crazy back in the day. And I know it's kind of dumb now, probably dated as hell, but I just had to get this, and this packaging is amazing. I just had to pick this one up, man. I couldn't say no to it. It's one of those ones I've seen in the stores for years, but just never jumped on it until now. But guys, that's all I have to show you guys today for this Blu-ray DVD box set mega haul video. Please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. And I'm moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment in the sky.